Hi, this is Patrick Driggett from Big Sky of the Week. I'm the coach of the Berlin Fire, and I'm joined by my friends.
Yep, this is Kevin Lucy here from Glasgow Rushmores. And also we have
Pat Hastings from CSU 66ers. Chris?
Yeah, I'm Chris Weeks, Santa Rosa Chargers.
And Ben Duggan for the Kerno Sharks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you all for coming on to the BS of the week. We're just some people here having a good time talking about the Big Sky, and Chris and Ben, you're both very active in the league, and we appreciate you coming to give your thoughts. This week we're going to talk about the draft preview, which came out. I know we were all waiting in an anticipation about that, and we're excited for that to be here. And this week we're going to be talking about the offensive side of the ball. And that'll be the focus this week. So yeah, I'm going to pass it off to Kevin, who's going to talk about the breakdown of the kind of, how teams are attacking in the Big Sky and the themes there. So Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, well, when we get to the draft, everyone always says it's a good draft or it's a bad draft or whatever it might be. Basically, it's a good draft or a bad draft, depending upon what you're looking for. If the star player happens to be there that fits your team, then it's a great draft. So what we're going to do is just look at who plays short pass, who plays long pass, who does a bit of mix passing. So basically in Big Skies, I think it won't come as a surprise. We've got 14 teams who tend to play the short pass. There are 8 teams who are more or less exclusively long pass. There are 7 teams that basically do a little bit of both. And we've got 3 teams that really don't run very much at all. So dependent upon whether you're a short passing team or a long passing team, you'll be looking at the draft with 1 or 2 just things in mind there. If we look at who runs the ball, basically what we've got is, it's a bit closer there. We've got 11 teams that tend to run line. We've got 7 teams that tend to run flat. And we've got 9 teams that tend to do a bit of both. And we've also got 5 teams that very rarely run. They usually just put the ball in the air. So basically from those figures, you can see that Big Sky is primarily a short passing league with run flat as well. Although it will be interesting to see, looking at the draws as the guys are going to talk about in a minute, whether any team decides to change how they normally would attack, because if they do, this might be a good draft to do it with. So let's have a look at the draft in a bit more detail. Tad, could you take us through your top picks for the offensive line, if you would?
Absolutely, Kevin. Thank you. I believe I would definitely, for the offensive line, is going with the offensive tackle, number 6. He has a perfect QST of 65-35. He's level 7, and he has pass blocking. So that reason, I think, for this draft, if you're looking for anybody for offensive guard, an offensive tackle, you definitely want to pick him up. Now, with a caveat to that, if you actually need a defensive end, you can switch him from offensive tackle, defensive end to the defensive end position. So that's actually a benefit there. So look at him. For the next position is defensive guard. I would go to offensive guard number 1. He's not the absolute perfect. He's level 8, 60-40, but he's his quality. And if you drop him into development squad, get him up to 65 for your running teams, he'll be a great pickup for you. And the last one for right now, I'll go with center number 1. He's level 8, 40-55-05. He also has traveler. And again, same thing. If you don't really need him right away, drop him off into development squad and get him up to 60-65, and you'll be quite happy with them. So for the offensive line, I think those are the 3 most important players. And now I'll pass off to Chris, who will be talking about quarterbacks and running backs.
Thank you, Tad. Well, guys, you've all looked at the draft. You've seen what's there, and basically a quarterback is nothing. There's not much at all. They're all low-level guys. The top pick is level 7. With a 60 tech as his short pass specialist. The only thing he's got is a leadership bonus. That's pretty much it for him. After that, you're dropping right down. You go to quarterback for a guy called Adam Ant. And he is a long pass specialist. He's got 60 strength. He only had one real good season. His last season, he had 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 1 interception. The interesting part is for him, he has bonuses for I formation, for pistol formation. He's super resilient, and he's listed as quality. So he's a project. After that, we've got another guy who's level 5, a guy called Enid Gumby. He has elite potential. So somebody's going to take him. He's listed as an evasive runner and has I formation bonuses. But he only threw for 18,000 yards in 4 seasons with 23 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Then after that, now this is an interesting guy because, again, he's quality. Guy called Jensen. He's got 60 tech, short pass specialist, leader in the playoffs, pocket passer, ace formation bonus. He threw for over 4,000 yards in each of his last 2 seasons. Again, it's in week 9 of season 32, threw over 700 yards. And he threw 85 touchdowns in his 2 final years with just 15 interceptions. So the figures are great. It's just the level isn't. And that pretty much is what you've got to choose from at quarterback. Running backs are terrible. So bad that Lee Dunstan of the Southern Statesman took his running backs off the board this week. They were on the trade board and he took them off because he wasn't impressed at all with the options at running back. I know because I was trying to get one off him and he changed his mind. And who can blame him, because there's just nothing. There's a level 9 guy, quarterback 1. He's a scat back type. He's basically he's a receiver. That's all he is. Then after that, you've got a running back 2, level 7, a guy called Coronavirus with 60 strength, and he's getting all of the attention. He looks like he's the only certain running back that's going to be drafted early. As I say, he's got 60 strength. He ran for over 2,000 yards and 23 touchdowns with nearly 8 yards per carry. Yeah. Last season against Ottawa, he had 370 yards and 3 touchdowns at an average of 10 yards per carry. So that's why everybody's interested in him. After that, there's pretty much nothing because we go to RB4 again, and we've got a guy called Escobar. Quality guy, good hands, safe hands, high tech again. And he's just really good for the passing game, but not much else. He's not a runner. He hasn't got any speed. He hasn't got any strength, but he has got great hands. So somebody will pick him up. Somebody will find a use for him. Yeah, won't be me. And I'll hand over to Ben.
Thanks very much. And for me, it's looking at wide receivers and tight ends. I think this is probably the wide receiver class is the best out there in the draft, but I'm biased because I'm a deep zone coach. So wide receiver number 3, I believe he is, Malone, level 8, 80 quickness and elite. You couldn't ask for better. That's absolutely brilliant. So if you play deep zone, you're going to grab him. That being said, I'm fairly sure the top 4 teams who are picking don't play deep zone. I don't think the Bulldogs are going to pick him up. I don't think the 66ers are going to pick him up unless Taz says something different. I can see a shaking of the head. I'm fairly sure the Bombers play short zone. I believe the Rapiers are going to short zone as well. So he could go pick 5, which is the Chargers. So Chris might be nodding or he's not giving anything away. But that would be a nice little lethal weapon for QB Sadler to have. But yeah, that's my star player going. That's my pick to go number 1. But saying that, on the tight end side of things, TE1, 55 technical quality. I believe he's level 8 as well. There's a brilliant option for the short zone. So those are my 2-star picks. But even if you go further down the wide receivers into wide receiver 1 and 2. There's lots of deep zone options there. There's a quality wide receiver who's got 5 strength, which is a nice little thing to have for a wide receiver, especially if he's facing someone in man-to-man or man-under. You can get a nice little bonus there and get yourself some extra yards. So, yeah, if you're a deep zone team, there's a lot of options there for your wide receiver. And that's pretty much it for me. So I'll hand over to Big Patrick.
Yeah, no, thanks. Awesome insights. It's sad that we don't have the best running back draft class, or I'd argue also quarterback, but the wide receiver skill position, it's obviously, maybe this is the start of a change or of how the Big Sky works, especially with so many good things. I think some people might change tactics. It certainly has me intrigued because I've been flirting with deep zone for a bit. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. And maybe there'll be some competition for it. And that'll be fun. So now we're going to go to the offensive sleeper picks. And Tad, what do you got for the offensive line? Any nuggets in there?
Well, I won't say he's a nugget. I mean, for offensive line, they're pretty much straightforward. But I think any sleeper pick with what could be offensive guard number 7. He's a perfect QST. He's level 4. You don't have to drop him developmental squad. You have to do nothing with him. So hopefully he gets really good aging if you pick him up. And if you coach him up some the next 2 or 3 seasons, he could be a beast for any team, especially if you have to run. So that would be my sleeper pick right there. And we pass off to Benjamin.
Yeah, my offensive sleeper pick, I think, is tight end 4. He's pretty low level, but he is 60 strength tight end. And Conrad was on last week and spoke about how having a 60 strength tight end can do wonders for you if you run the ball. It can help you in trench warfare and get you those extra yards. So having someone like that on your team, coach them up, stick them on the end there, and just let him grind out those extra yards for you if you run. So that would be my sleeper pick.
Yeah, I would say that Conrad probably increased the draft value of that specific pick probably a whole round because of last week. So we'll see how competitive that goes. I have a feeling someone is probably going to overpay, but good for them. Yeah. Yeah, Chris, what do you got?
Well, a quarterback, we've got quarterback 9, a guy called Cygnus Alvario. Now, the reason I've got him as a sleeper is because he's got quality potential. He's only level 4, so you've got some work to do. He's going to take some seasons to come through, but he has got 55 strength. Yeah, so as you said before, there's potential there for somebody who's patient enough. Interestingly, and Benjamin mentioned it, is the value of players that Conrad talked about, because the sleeper running back is running back 16, and he has elite speed. He's got 60 speed. Yeah. So you talk about somebody overpaying, it could be any of us, including everybody here. I'd certainly be interested, but what do you pay? Yeah. Courtesy of Conrad. So that's it. That's the sleepers.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Great insights. I love that we're talking about this. I think that the draft, hopefully I know the last couple of years we've had really any time I've played over the last seasons, but even back in the day, right? Big Sky, sometimes we get some really crappy drafters, right? And hopefully, by increasing interest with the show and other things, hopefully we have a competitive draft. As sad as it will be for me to lose out on some of these picks or any of us, I think we're all going to be better for it if we have a more competitive league and we have, more insights into this draft process. And, also thanks to Camp Conrad for really escalating a lot of this stuff. Hopefully he doesn't use his pulpit for evil and set us up for failure next season as he, pretends that a punter with 55, technique is a winner. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited about what this means, and thank you all so much. Tad, do you want to give us some reminders of what's coming up?
Sure. Hopefully when R&R gets the players up so we can do for voting for the trophies. So hopefully that'll be coming up anytime soon. And probably the 2 other biggest things to do is only half of the Big Sky right now has a trade board up. So hopefully the other half will start coming alive soon and get the trade boards up. to get that portion of G3 moving for us, and to extend the contracts on your coaches. Make sure that you go in there and check it out, because you don't want to accidentally lose a coach because you didn't go in there and put a bid on your coach. So make sure you get that done. And besides that, just have to wait for the draft to come out, and more emails going back and forth for trade deals.
Yeah, Tad, I don't want to. I'm not going to tell anybody what it is, but I think you and I have a nice little trade. We're looking for a partner so we can three-way it a little bit here, but we've got
nothing wrong
something
with a
brewing.
three-way,
Yeah.
Yeah. Just keep it clean, boys. Keep it clean. Come on.
Hey. No, I'm excited to participate in some trading. I don't have my trade board up. I need to probably put one up, but I'm active in draft in trading right now. No, thank you all so much, Chris and Ben. We really appreciate you coming. This was great. We really enjoyed having you here. I hope you had a good time. We enjoyed your insights. So thank you all. Kevin and Tad, as always, I really appreciate you all doing this with me, my partners in crime. We're really enjoying this process, and I know that we're starting to prepare for our defensive analysis of the draft that we'll get in before we get to the draft, the actual draft. So that'll probably be, if I'm right, Kevin, I believe we're gonna do that one and then maybe take a short break until the draft. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that was the idea. It's still up in the air, but we're certainly doing next week's show.
Yeah.
Will be the defense. And then because we're drafting, to a certain extent, we're going to be drafting in three consecutive Saturdays. So we're not really sure at this moment in time how we're going to handle that. It might be one program, might be two programs. We don't know yet. But we're probably going to take a couple of off or whatever after the pre-draft. Then we've got quite a few other things up our sleeves for the close season. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, we're excited. Hope you all are enjoying the videos. Again, thanks, Chris and Ben, and we hope everyone has an awesome week. Bye.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Cheers.